Friends say they're scared for her life because she's shaking and can barely talk. Sharon Osbourne is going crazy, emotionally broken, and alone after the sad death of rock star Ozzy Osbourne. There are now rumors that she may bury him in their own yard. What's going on behind closed doors? Also, is Sharon slowly leaving the world she used to rule? Join us. It's much scarier than anyone thought the truth would be. It's easy to picture the Osbournes as the loud, weird, and completely honest family that turned reality TV on its head. But behind the scenes, away from the cameras and the trouble, a sad truth is coming out that not many people saw coming. Sharon Osbourne, the tough mother, the media powerhouse, and the woman who stood by Ozzy through decades of chaos, is said to be breaking down from the sadness. Since Sharon Osbourne's husband, the famous Prince of Darkness Ozzy Osbourne, died, close friends have been showing a different side of her, one that is weak, alone, and incredibly fragile. Reports say she doesn't say much, cries for hours, and even thinks about doing something shocking like burying Ozzy in their yard. You did hear that right. This video goes into great detail about what really happened to Sharon after Ozzy died, what her friends are now telling everyone, why people inside the company are scared for her safety, and the strange plan that's causing a lot of debate in the UK and Hollywood. From hidden health problems to mental breakdowns and even worries that Sharon will disappear from public view for good. This is the story of how one of the most famous rock families fell apart because of pain and loss. Stay put. Before we go on, we have something that will blow your mind and change the way you see Sharon Osbourne. After Ozzy Osbourne's sad death, people close to the family started to sound the alarm. Sharon quit talking altogether, which was one of the first signs that something was wrong. According to a family friend who asked to remain anonymous, Sharon changed from the fiery, outspoken woman who would go head-to-head with TV executives and rock stars to a shy, quiet person who would often be seen sitting alone in her yard, staring into space. The person said she doesn't answer the phone, she doesn't eat much. She sits alone in his old studio, which is full of his guitars, sometimes. It seems like a piece of her died with Ozzy. It could have, though. Don't forget that Sharon was more than just Ozzy's wife. She was his boss, his lifeline when he was really into drugs, the mother of his kids, and his ride or die for more than 40 years. In every controversy, every breakup, and every tour, she was the one who made everything work. When he died, that very thing that held her life together fell apart. Why is this silence even scarier? Because Sharon would never be this quiet. She made a name for herself by telling the truth, whether it was slamming Simon Cowell on live TV or standing up for her family during the Osbournes' chaos. Now some say that not even her own kids can get through to her. Kelly Osbourne is said to have tried more than once to get her mother to leave the house, go outside, and see a grief psychologist. Sharon said no, though. A tabloid photographer caught her in an emotional moment when she was sitting in a wheelchair with her head down and wouldn't answer friends who tried to comfort her. Some people are calling it a breakdown caused by sadness. Some people think it could be the start of something much worse, a mental health downward slide that could make Sharon shut herself off from everyone for good, or even worse. That's not even the scariest part. Even her closest friends were shocked by what she asked about Ozzy's body, which was very strange. As if Sharon Osbourne's strange quiet wasn't scary enough, what she asked after Ozzy died shocked even her closest family members. Insiders say that Sharon called an emergency meeting of their law and estate team just a few days after Ozzy's death. Many people thought they were going to talk about funeral plans or money issues, but Sharon dropped a bomb that no one was ready for. Several people who knew her said, "I want Ozzy to be buried in our garden." That's right. Not a family plot, not a rock star tribute in Hollywood Forever Cemetery, not even the family vault they had talked about before. Sharon wanted Ozzy's body to be buried right in the backyard of their Buckinghamshire home, next to the old rose garden he used to walk through in his last days. Some people thought it sounded like a sweet tribute, while others thought it was strange and even scary. One of the Osbourne family's lawyers reportedly tried to object, saying that UK burial laws are strict, and that burying bodies on private land requires a lot of legal work and upkeep. Sharon was firm, though. Someone who was there says she looked him straight in the eye and said, "He built this house. He was bleeding in this house. This house will be his resting place. It was said that Kelly and Jack had different opinions on the choice. Jack agreed with their mom's emotional plea, saying it was what their dad would have wanted, but Kelly didn't agree. Sources say she broke down in tears and begged Sharon to change her mind, yelling, "Mom, you're not thinking straight. This is not usual. He can't be buried with the dog," because that's where Sharon chose. It was where the family's beloved bulldog, Lola, had been buried many years before. It was a place with emotional value, but it also held pain. Sharon wouldn't give up though. In fact, she went even further and demanded that a part of the yard be blocked off and strengthened with stone, along with a custom black marble headstone that she had already ordered from an Italian designer. What was even more shocking was that she didn't want anyone to see the grave. No open to the public, no press pictures, and definitely no memorials for fans. This choice made fans and some people in the music business very angry. They thought Ozzy should have a public monument, a place where his fans could pay tribute to him. One angry fan wrote on Twitter, "He was our Prince of Darkness, not just hers. We praised him. We don't even get a chance to say goodbye." The reaction was strong. Many people blamed Sharon for making Ozzy's death all about her control, her grief, and her privacy, cutting her off from a global community that had covered his every move for decades. This was criticized on talk shows and in online petitions. She still wouldn't move. The burial in the yard has not yet been officially approved by the local government, but Sharon is said to have promised to do whatever it takes to make it happen. But her crazy behavior made things even worse, especially after what she said next about how she wanted to be buried. Things really get weird and emotional from here on out. Many families choose quiet funerals, beautiful cemeteries, or even memorial gardens. However, there are rumors going around the internet and in close groups that Sharon Osbourne might be planning something very different and, to be honest, unsettling for some. Several news stories say that Sharon Osbourne might be thinking about burying Ozzy in their yard. You did hear that right. It is said that the yard of their country home in Buckinghamshire, England, is being thought of as a possible place for Ozzy to rest his soul. Before you dismiss it as nothing more than media hype, there's a surprisingly real basis to this story. In fact, Sharon and Ozzy have both talked about this possibility in the past. Sharon said on an old episode of The Talk that she and Ozzy had long talked about being buried next to each other, and not just anywhere, but on their own land. To be clear, private burials on private land are allowed in the UK as long as certain rules are followed. Burials at home are legal as long as the right paperwork is filled out and the local officials are told. It may sound strange, but famous people or strange millionaires who want to spend eternity on land they love do sometimes want to be buried at home. The mental reason behind this makes it even scarier though. People who know Sharon well say that the house she shared with Ozzy has a special place in her heart and soul. The memories, the history, and the peaceful English grounds where Ozzy used to walk on better days. One source said, she doesn't want to let go. She thinks that putting him there will keep the memories of them alive and keep her from having to say goodbye. And this is where it gets really deep. According to sources, Sharon has already chosen a spot under a big old tree where Ozzy liked to sit and watch the birds before his health got worse. People say that place is holy to her and a place of peace, remembering, and permanence. But not all people like the idea. Some fans and friends think it's touching and meaningful, while others think it's scary and makes them feel alone. A few family members are said to have even said they thought it was too much, which could mean Sharon is losing her mind due to her sadness and can't make good decisions. And since Ozzy's death was so recent, some people think this is more of an emotional response than a well-thought-out plan.